All right, so Donald Trump was obviously banned off of Twitter and Facebook about 6 months ago. I guess it's been now since the January 6th insurrection, and they argued that he violated their terms of service by spreading all of these election lies and inciting an insurrection against the Capitol. And look, my take on whether or not he should have been originally banned is kind of goes both ways, because on the one hand, I understand that, yeah, he did kind of sort of incite a violent insurrection at the Capitol, so there's that. But also at the same time, even if he did that, I don't think that we should be having a situation in which a tiny minority of our tech overlords like Mark Zuckerberg or Jack Dorsey of Twitter should be able to make these decisions. I don't think that those individual billionaires should have the ability to unilaterally decide public discourse. And, you know, when you're able to silence the president of the United States, and what have we seen since he's been deplatformed off of these things? Well, he's significantly been reduced in his impact in public discourse. So when you can silence the president of the United States by yourself without any check on that by the people or by the government, then I think that's a pretty bad situation that we should be trying to avoid. Now, with that being said, Trump announcing lawsuit against these three companies. Is this bullshit, or is this a real case that he's bringing forward? So Trump announces suits against Facebook, Twitter, and Google. So former President Donald Trump announced Wednesday he is filing suits against three of the country's biggest tech companies, Facebook, Twitter, and Google, as well as their CEOs. Trump said he was serving as the lead plaintiff in the class action suits, claiming he has been wrongfully censored by the companies. Quote, "We're demanding an end to the shadow banning, a stop to the silencing, and a stop to the blacklisting, banishing, and canceling that you all know so well," Trump said at a news conference at his Bedminster, New Jersey golf course. The suits were filed in the U.S. District Court for Florida's Southern District, and Trump was obviously suspended from Twitter and Facebook after his followers stormed the Capitol building, and the company cited concerns that he would incite further violence. Currently, he can no longer post on either platform. So again, should we have let these companies have the unilateral ability to make this kind of decision? I don't think so. I think we should be regulating them as public utilities. And guess what? Trump, you were the president for 4 fucking years. If you wanted to do something and regulate these private social media companies so that they weren't able to go and make these unilateral decisions on who can participate in public discourse, you could have done something about it, man. Again, you were the most powerful person in the world for 4 fucking years. So if you wanted to do something, you kind of missed your window at this point, right? I mean, bringing forward this lawsuit is not really going to change anything given the law that you failed to change. I mean, like, we can cite the Section 230 and stuff, but the reality of the situation is our current situation with these private social media companies is, yes, they do, under the law, have the legal ability to unilaterally make these decisions on who can participate in public discourse. They can ban people for violating their terms of service. It doesn't have any correlation to free speech, okay? That's the shitty situation that you, former President Donald Trump, allowed to continue happening. So bringing forward this lawsuit after the fact, it's not really going to have any chance of succeeding, at least in my point. And I think we've also seen the track record of Donald Trump and the teams that he puts together in order to bring forward lawsuits. We saw, 60 cases that were brought forward for election fraud cases that he brought forward, and pretty much none of them of any consequence succeeded at all. He was getting laughed out of courts by even Republican judges. So no, obviously I'm not confident in Trump's ability to bring forward a coherent lawsuit that would actually succeed in courts. But on top of that, man, I mean, you want to know what this is actually for. It's for shit like this. I mean, he's fundraising. This is just a grift, right? He knows that this lawsuit is not going to really go anywhere. He's just using his supporters to raise more funds for himself. So, breaking news, President Trump is filing a lawsuit against Facebook and Twitter for unfair censorship. For the next hour, we're activating a 5 times impact on all gifts. So listen, man, I mean, he's just scamming his supporters. I mean, we've seen this before. It's not the first time that he's used an opportunity like this, used bullshit lawsuits in order to scam his supporters and raise money off of them. Another one, President Trump, I am suing Facebook and Twitter for unconstitutional censorship for a short time, 5 times impact on all gifts. So listen, again, he's just scamming his supporters, okay? I don't believe that this lawsuit is going to really go anywhere. You were the president for 4 years. If you wanted to do something about regulating these private companies, you could have done it. I mean, you had the opportunity to do something like that, and you wasted your time complaining about it and didn't actually push anything concrete through that ended up succeeding. So this is a grift. I don't think the lawsuit is going to go anywhere, but we'll just have to see.